Welcome to National Focus. I'm Kerdisha St. Louis. Coming up, government hosts a country programming framework consultation. The Ministry of Agriculture asserts root crops and vegetables as viable enterprises, and Brazil aids in Dominica's recovery efforts. Stay with us for details of these and other stories after this. Thanks for staying with us. The Ministry of Agriculture says root crops and vegetables are sleeping commercial giants. In a presentation to agriculture stakeholders on Tuesday, Agriculture Officer Felix Leslie advised producers not to underestimate the commercial value of the two. Root crops and vegetables are being pursued by government as one of 6 pillars of the agriculture industry. The others are banana and plantain, coffee and cocoa, pork and poultry, fruit and small ruminants. Leslie revealed to Cabinet, farmers, development partners and other stakeholders that the root crop and vegetable subsectors are so large the current production levels are insufficient to meet the demand.
In terms of current annual production and required annual production, you can see where we are in terms of the dashing, 800 acres. But what we really require to meet the demands, domestic and market, we need 1,100 acres. Yam 600 acres, but we actually need 800 acres. Tanias, we have 200 acres grown annually, but you need 500 acres. Sweet potatoes, 150 acres, you need 200 acres. Ginger, there's some good progress where ginger production is concerned. We have 85 acres, some of that mainly concentrated in the north, the northeast and the south agricultural region, and white potato is becoming a serious champion in Dominica where that is concerned.
When it comes to returns, Leslie assured these crops deliver well to the benefit of all involved.
Cost of production for 1 acre of dashing, $8,000. Yield, 12,000 pounds. Take the liberty and do the maths. Multiply that by $1.50 as it goes now. Tanya, you spend $10,000 to do 1 acre, 15,000 pounds as yield. Do the maths. And yams as being the champion, $15,000, you can get 30,000 pounds. Do the maths.
At that event, farmers and other stakeholders had a meaningful discussion on the way forward for the industry after Tropical Storm Erica. Honorable Prime Minister Skerrit gave his government's assurance that concerns and the suggestions brought forward will be incorporated into government's actions in the long term.
This is not the end of the consultation. Feel free to indicate to your extension officers or through the Ministry of Agriculture some of the recommendations which you have. But this is a starting point. It's important for us to engage each other. We cannot run away from consultations, but I want to say to the farmers that we have your back. This is about our country and agriculture. For me and for the government is the most important aspect of our national development. And don't let anybody tell you otherwise. I'm saying to you that the government attaches priority #1 to agriculture.
Look out for more from that event in a subsequent newscast. The Federative Republic of Brazil has come to Dominica's aid following the passage of Tropical Storm Erica. Over $23,000 worth of medicines and medical supplies were gifted to Dominica at a ceremony on Wednesday by the Ambassador of the Federative Republic of Brazil to Dominica, His Excellency Jose Marcos Viana. It is not the first time that Dominica received aid from Brazil following natural disasters. The last time was in 2007 following Hurricane Dean. His Excellency Jose Marcos Viana says Brazil is once again here to assist.
Tropical Storm Erica. Tropical Storm Erica caused great personal sorrow to all of us and a lot of people in Brazil. People in Dominica lost their homes, their loved ones, and their lives. This donation of medicines from the Brazilian government is a small contribution to help to mitigate this natural disaster named Erica.
Dominica's ambassador to the Federative Republic of Brazil is Jennifer Aird.
in such a very short period of time, the actions that have spurned and have resulted in the medical supplies being in Dominica in less than a month, in a few weeks, is really very symbolic and epitomizes the depth of the solidarity, the friendship, and the commitment that is there extended to us in Dominica by the government of the Federative Republic of Brazil.
Dr. Martin Christmas represented the Honorable Minister for Health. He says the supplies come at a very critical time for the ministry.
It is at times like these that our resilience is put to the test. And in the wake of such disasters, when availability and accessibility of healthcare becomes an issue of paramount importance, even when other departments are clearly recuperating, the last step of recovery when success rests in the hands of healthcare providers who must have the necessary resources in order to safeguard the health of the nation. It is at times like these when we recognize and truly appreciate those good neighbors who recognize the need for assistance and generously extend the hand of friendship and help, as has been the case with the Federative Republic of Brazil.
Honorable Minister for Foreign Affairs and CARICOM Affairs, Francine Barron, is grateful for the partnership of the two countries.
Tropical Storm Erica has brought out the best of our friends in the region. They have rallied very quickly to our aid, and it underscores the need for countries like ours to have good relations with our friends in the region and internationally.
The supplies include anti-tuberculosis and other medicines, gloves, masks, and syringes. Dominica established diplomatic relations with the Federative Republic of Brazil in 1986. In more news, on Tuesday, October 14th, the Division of Culture, in collaboration with the Create Caribbean Inc. Research Institute of the Dominica State College, launched a digital research resource dubbed The Road to Independence, a Virtual Journey, forming part of Dominica's 2015 History Week. This was the signature event for History Week and included an interactive website, dominicahistory.org. Director of Create Caribbean Inc., Dr. Esprit, believes that the One Tablet per Child initiative could not have come at a better time, as the students can use the technology combined with the website to make history come alive.
I think the tablet dissemination right now is a really appropriate time for us to be having the conversation, because one of the things that came up on the news is when you give students technology, what are they going to use it for? History Week historically is designed for students it's an educational week, essentially, right? We want the entire public to be involved, but we also want to specifically target students of primary, secondary, and tertiary education to really get more in touch with Dominican history. And it's very easy to do that in a classroom and have them study and cram words, but the thing I've learned by doing this project and other ones that we do at Create Caribbean is there's no better way to get students to be enthusiastic about or interested in the history in which they are now present than to make them do history themselves, right? They have to make it in order for them to value it in a very different way. And I think for me, the most rewarding part of this experience is watching my students, my interns, interact with the information themselves as they put this project together. So I hope that the students here and the ones who will see the project later on will have that same experience and want to contribute to it.
She notes that at this point in time, the site can be seen as a living document, a combination of data collection of primary sources, some analysis, and the use of technology to display said information.
So we will go to various communities that were really influential in the journey to independence for social, political, economic, or cultural reasons, and we have identified about 4 of them, and we will be making town hall meeting trips to these communities, asking people to bring their family pictures, whatever pictures or stories they have to tell about what happened in their community relating to events surrounding independence or anti-colonial movements or any type of social development that was happening between 1950 and 1978. So we'll make 4 of those trips. Our plans are to go to Grand Bay, Maho, Portsmouth, and Atkinson right now. And we may, if we have time, do one on the East Coast and Lapland, I think. Right?
There will also be a contribution page on the website where the general public can submit any pertinent information to the site dominicahistory.org. You're watching National Focus. More when we return.
Wash your hands. I am Adora Tuse, health educator from the Ministry of Health. Proper hand washing protects against the spread of many common illnesses and germs. Wash your hands often with soap and water, or you may use a hand sanitizer. Remember, clean hands save lives. Protect yourself.
A message from the Health Promotion of the Ministry of Health.
Welcome back. The Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations have partnered with the government of Dominica to host a program for the Country Programming Framework (CPF) Priority Setting Stakeholder Consultation. The CPF is a government and FAO agreed program of assistance to support the said country in national development. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Agriculture, Harold Geese, represented the Minister for Agriculture. He believes the consultation is a timely one after the passing of Tropical Storm Erica.
Erica has left us with some critical decisions to make in relation to our food systems, utilization of natural resources, particularly the land, or management of risk and climate change. While we cannot expect the country programming framework to resolve all our issues in agriculture and rural development, it presents an opportunity to identify critical priority areas in the agricultural landscape in Dominica at this time, which fall within FAO's core technical competencies.
There were 3 objectives of this consultation. 1, to identify national thematic priority areas and results for a new Dominica/FAO CPF for 2016 to 2019. 2, build consensus around 3 to 4 agreed priority areas. And 4, under each priority area, agree on 3 to 4 expected outcomes. Assistant FAO Representative Jillian Smith notes that as a developmental support agency, the FAO has several mandates.
This is FAO's mandate broken down into our work plan. And our work plan has 5 objectives. Those 5 objectives are given again to us by our member states. Our member states have said, organize your work in these areas. They want us to contribute to eradication of hunger. They want us to contribute to eradication or the lowering of food insecurity and malnutrition. And we know that malnutrition is not just being underfed, but it also includes being overfed. They want us to contribute to increasing the provision of the goods and services that we get from agriculture, forestry, fisheries, but to do so in a sustainable manner. They want us to reduce rural poverty, or should I say they want us to contribute to reducing rural poverty. They want us to enable inclusive and efficient agriculture and food systems. We're talking about trade here. And finally, they want us to increase the resilience of livelihoods against the threats and crises. And we're talking about things like climate change and disasters, natural disasters.
She says that the FAO not only offers assistance to their member countries in these 5 areas, but ensures that they are closely linked with each country's personal goal.
In Dominica, essentially FAO collaborates directly with the government to meet the development agenda of the government as defined by the government and people of Dominica. We focus primarily and specifically on the areas in which we can deliver, and that is why I mentioned to you about the strategic objectives. Those are the areas that we work in. And all of this is done, and we roll this out on a periodic basis through our country programming framework. In other words, it's our midterm strategic plan of how we are going to work together ourselves and the country as a partner.
She assured stakeholders that the FAO will work to align all strategies and frameworks together with the FAO's mandates nationally, regionally, and internationally.
This is only a few of them. We're talking about the OECS Regional Plan of Action for Agriculture, for example, to which Dominica is part. We're talking about your national development plans, the overall national plan, and the sectoral plans as well. And when we begin to think back to all of those areas that we were talking about in the strategic objectives, we recognize it's not just the agriculture sector plan. We're talking a little bit too about the overlap with the health plan, with the education plan, with the social development plans. How do all of those things align? Sustainable Development Goals of the UN. This is another framework on which Dominica, as a member state of the United Nations, has signed on. We're talking about the multi-country framework, all the work that the UN does together in all the countries of the Caribbean. Caribbean Food and Nutrition Security Strategy, the National Food and Nutrition Security Policy, CARICOM Agricultural Policy. There are a number of frameworks. The good thing about all of this is that we don't have to be overwhelmed, because the CPF, by virtue of going through all of these, helps to align and come up with the linkages so that any results and activities that we say we want to do together here are going to fit into your plans. They have to fit into your plans. Otherwise, whose plans are they?
The participants of the consultation work together to identify and refine priority areas and result statements for the new country programming framework. On Tuesday, GIS caught up with Captain Nelville Wins, a relief specialist from Trinidad and Tobago. He has been in Dominica since August 27th following the passage of Tropical Storm Erica. Captain Wint works with CDMA's technical support team to ensure that the aid received is managed efficiently. He says so far everything is accounted for.
I would compliment the people of Dominica. Relief has come in. It's been accounted for down to me at the lowest level. So there's accounts that show who received, what they receive, come back in. I think in the recovery stage right now, it's both relief and recovery, identifying what the island really needs and what it does not need, and also in an effort to ensure that the economic activity still continues. Incidents like these sometimes slows down the economy, and I think the Prime Minister has a concern that with relief, he's trying not to avoid the slowdown, but there is still need for relief from international agencies and donors, international agencies, donors, individuals and countries to assist in the recovery post-Tropical Storm Erica.
He says, however, relief efforts are not yet over. Dominica still requires support of the international community.
The infrastructure will continue and has been recommended to be done on a phased basis based on the priorities set. Based on the needs sent to Trinidad, the Prime Minister has identified the airport and the fencing and securing of the airport as one of his immediate needs, which will allow flights to get back in, have the airport up and running, get the lights back up so we could have day and night flights. That has been transmitted to Trinidad, so they're presently working both on a construction, but priority being set as by the Prime Minister, the fencing and lighting of the airport. The other infrastructure needs will take time. My visit around the islands, it also requires a lot of engineering advice, and as we rebuild to rebuild better. This is a 1 in a 100 year event. It's going to happen maybe not in our generation, but the next generation, and therefore thought should be given in re-establishing certain roadways and rebuilding in a process which will mitigate this type of event, at least to the next 2 generations.
In more news, Dominica continues to benefit from relations with the Federative Republic of Brazil. The most recent initiative has been a donation of medicines and medical supplies to the Ministry of Health on Wednesday. Honorable Minister for Foreign Affairs and CARICOM Affairs highlighted the scope of the relations between the two countries at the handing over ceremony.
The Brazilian government has offered over the years assistance to the government of Dominica through a technical cooperation program, and a number of bilateral agreements have been signed between our two countries. An international conference on land reform and rural development was done in March of 2006. There was a visit by a team of 2 Brazilian experts in 2010 to discuss research in the fields of agriculture and cattle rearing with relevant officials of the Ministry of Agriculture. In July 2011, Brazil launched a new cooperation program comprising 24 short-term training courses in various fields. Under this program, Dominica benefited from participation in the following training courses: vegetal genetic resources, tropical fruit processing, organic horticulture in tropical regions, sustainable school feeding program, the first training course for Caribbean diplomats, and the international course on tropical forest monitoring.
Dominica also benefits from a visa-free waivers into Brazil.
We also have entered into bilateral agreements with the Federative Republic of Brazil, which include an agreement that was signed between our two governments on April 26, 2010, and which entered into force in November 2013, which was an agreement between the government of Dominica and the government of Brazil on visa exemption for holders of diplomatic, official, or service passports. Earlier this year, we were able to conclude a visa waiver agreement with the Republic of Brazil, which allows for holders of ordinary passports of both countries to be able to travel freely without the need for a visa waiver agreement. So any Dominican wishing to travel to Brazil no longer has to apply for a visa.
And before we leave, here are a few announcements. Residents of Petit Savan are advised that they can collect their mail at the General Post Office in Roseau. This measure will be put in place until they are permanently relocated, if there is a change of address to their current location, or if they purchase a post office box. Mail will only be delivered upon proper proof of identification. Registration is now open for the January 2016 CSEC examinations. Private candidates wishing to register for this examination can now do so at the CXC Local Registrar's Office, the Ministry of Education and Human Resource Development, or the Science and Technology Building on Cornwall Street during normal working hours. Private candidates are required to have their last registration or candidate number and a pictorial ID for registration. Registration closes on October 15th. The Ministry of Social Services, Family and Gender Affairs, in collaboration with its numerous partners, including farmers, vendors, and the Marigot Village Council, wish to inform the general public that due to the many challenges facing farmers and the impact of Tropical Storm Erica on our livelihoods, that Market Day with a Difference, carried for October 17, 2015 in Marigot, is cancelled. All inconvenience caused is regretted. The Dominica State College, through institutional partnership, is offering the following 12-week pre-technology courses commencing January 2016: bartending, housekeeping, landscaping, and maintenance. Interested persons between the ages of 15 to 29, unemployed and not at school, with 3 CXCs or less, are asked to register at the Dominica State College, Dominica Hotel and Tourism Association members, Village Council offices, or contact Don Francis at 315-5128 for more information. This is a pre-technology initiative project funded by colleges and institutes, Canada and the UK Aid. And that's the English news. McPherson St. Luce is up next with the Creole highlights.
Alors tout le monde, bienvenue à cette nouvelle en créole. Non, moi, c'est McPherson St. Louis. Premièrement, ministre agriculture en collaboration et puis FAO, tient une consultation pour discuter l'état agriculture en Dominique. Consultation, yon jour là qui prend place en hôtel Fortin en Rose aujourd'hui, mener ensemble plusieurs stakeholders en secteur agricole là. Permanent secrétaire en ministre agriculture Harold Gis adressé consultation là.
Avec là, nous avons en consultation avec tout le monde qui nous a fait pour faire agriculture, avec nous et puis nous FAO, pour créer ça Food and Agriculture Organization, Et puis nous aujourd'hui là pour nous ça discuter manière nous qu'à développer et mettre un programme pour agriculture pour Dominique. Si on bagaille nous a fait avant chaque 3 l'année, il va venir il va évaluer ce qui déjà fait avant et nous va faire bagaille neuf pour nous progresser. Comme ça Erika passé tout de suite là avec il bouleverse ça fait agriculture tout bonnement avec en manière ça la FAO fini pour nous assistance regarder comment nous ça fait bagaille différent comment nous ça fait bagaille meilleur comment nous ça fait plan nous ces plans nous qu'a faire comment nous ça catcher pour catcher contre des désastres qui a fait naturellement et comment nous ça préparer pour bagaille comme ça en agriculture.
Permanent secrétaire GIS parler contre bon standard pour agriculture.
Nous devons pour catcher comment nous allons planter plan en les mondes en les place la live qui passer parce que ça flotte plein. Comme ça nous avons une bonne opportunité pour nous ça travailler avec FAO qui travaille puis nous pour nous ça faire un meilleur plan better than before.
Alors nouvel département social development planning qui travaille pour baisser Malte en pays mandate yoni hot gouvernement. Parole celle-là sur le social development planner Madame Ammonia Paul Roll.
Social development planning nous plus grand focus nous c'est réduction pauvreté avec nous travail avec gouvernement qui point data pour ensure nous faire décision nous bail avis nous faire avis assis data qui empirical data qui for data qui correct. So nous travaillons avec le gouvernement, avec d'autres les autres organisations pour ensure que nous avons tout data là. Et nous garder compte bitin social, health, education, bagaille comme ça.
D'autres nouvelles au programme technologie Center of Excellence que le gouvernement a conduit à Dominica State College quand on trouve en l'autre phase. Parole c'est la sortie du ministre Telecoms, Honorable Kelva Darrow.
Et puis, Center Excellence là, ça c'est un partnership entre le gouvernement Dominique et puis le gouvernement India. Nous finissons phase 1, place ça là, il va rester au Dominica State College. Et puis ça, nous avons fait actuellement, c'est le gouvernement India, nous avons venir en Dominique pour mener ça, c'est hardware et puis c'est software là, pour assister ces enfants qui pour aller au Center Excellence là. Ça c'est un bon programme. Nous avons dit merci pour le gouvernement India. Puis vous avez fait un bon qui est assistance pour Dominique pour ICT. Et puis ça nous a dit ces jeunes là, ces jeunes qui ont éducation, ces jeunes qui ont skills et puis ability pour ICT. Vous pour venir au Center Excellence là, nous complete building ça là pour faire ça mobile apps, pour faire applications, pour radio, pour faire tous les bagages hot Dominique pour moun qui travaille au ICT, tu vas taper ça avec tous ces bagages ça là.
Messieurs, mesdames, ça c'est tout pour nouvelle en créole pour à présent. Non moins c'est McPherson and Luce. Au revoir.
Coming up next, your tip of the day. Engaging in casual conversation with others may help keep you as sharp as doing a word puzzle, according to some studies. Just 10 minutes of daily chatter appears to improve mental function and preserve memory. And that's all for this edition of National Focus. We always welcome your suggestions and comments. Drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm or visit our website news.gov.dm. Like our Facebook page, facebook.com/GIS News Dominica, and follow our Twitter at GIS Dominica. You can also catch up on past National Focus newscasts on our GIS Dominica YouTube channel. From all of us here on the GIS News Production team, I'm Kerdisha. Thanks for watching, and do join us again next time on National Focus.